Looking ahead 2 years from now, the Seattle Kraken will be the NHL's 31st team. And they just made some news, hiring their first team broadcaster. Everett Fitzhugh is also thought to be the NHL's first ever black team broadcaster. And he joins us now from Cincinnati, Ohio. Hey there, Everett. Thanks for being with us, and congratulations to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Chris. I really appreciate you having me on.
Great. So I hear it's always been your goal to work for an NHL team. How did it feel when you heard the news?
You know, it was very surreal, and I think it's still something that I'm trying to grasp and really come to terms with. I mean, this is something that I know that I've wanted for a very long time. Ever since my first broadcast in college, I knew that I was going to be putting all of the eggs in the hockey basket, so to speak. So to get that call, you know, to say that you've been hired, I've been hired as the first team broadcaster for the Kraken was an unbelievable experience and a great moment for me.
Yeah, big deal for you and your family, I'm sure. But in a league that's more than 100 years old, this goes way beyond just you and your family. What do you think this might mean for the league, that you're the first black team broadcaster?
You know, I think this is, in my opinion, I hope it's just the beginning. The NHL has done a fantastic job in the past couple of years in terms of embracing that diversity. And I've always known that this is the path that I wanted to take. And you know, you never really set out to be the first. You never really set out to be the trailblazer, so to speak. But if it means that other folks can come behind me and find their own passion for the sport of hockey, broadcasting hockey, doing play-by-play, I think that's only going to serve well. And for me, you know, I know this is a really big opportunity and this is a really big deal. And it's something that I don't take lightly. And I know that it's going to come with its challenges, but I'm more than ready to handle that challenge in this next step.
And as you mentioned, the NHL has been talking a lot about embracing diversity. Certainly, it's said many times that it is committed to doing more to end anti-black racism. And there have been some, demonstrations at games by players such as Matt Dumba. What kind of impact do you think those kinds of demonstrations and your presence there with the team in Seattle, what do you think that will have on players and other people out there who want to be a part of this league and the league itself?
You know, I think any time that you're trying to raise awareness about an issue, and it can be very, very easy to be uncomfortable. And one thing that I've always believed in is that you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. I think these are some of the conversations that you need to have. And for me, to be able to represent my family, my city of Detroit, where I'm from, obviously Cincinnati in my last 5 years here, to do something that's so special and so groundbreaking, I think is amazing. And, you know, like I said before, I'm always in the mood to bring up and to help foster that love of hockey and love for the game, and to show people that there are minorities, there are people of color, there are more women getting into the game of hockey, and that it's a good thing. Hockey is really one of those sports that is a worldwide game, and I know especially up in Canada, you have a lot of different groups who find this game as their country's game, and I think it's something that for me it is huge when I see people of color, when I see minorities, when I see women playing the game of hockey. It's something that always makes me smile, because not too long ago, you know, as a 12-year-old black kid in Detroit, I was told that hockey wasn't for me. There wasn't black kids watching and playing hockey. So to be able to do this is something that is very, very special. And I think it shows just how far we've come as a sport. But I hope this is only the beginning and we continue to grow and foster that game amongst everybody.
When it comes to ending racism, we've seen a few high-profile white players say they're listening and learning. I'm curious, what do you think the impact of that will be?
I think it's huge. You know, I think anytime you have white people standing up in the face of racism and joining black people in their fight for racism and our fight for racism, against racism as a people, I think it can only go to help further that conversation. And I think it can only go to help further the awareness on these anti-racism messages and trying to foster that society of equality. And again, I said it before, I know this can be a very uncomfortable conversation for a lot of people to have, but if you can learn and if you can feel comfortable being uncomfortable, I think we can move so much further, so much faster in this society. So I love it. I love seeing other white players. I love seeing coaches come out in defense and in support of their players, taking a knee, taking a stand against racism, systemic racism, police brutality, whatever it may be. As many voices, I think, as we can have standing up and joining in together, I think, like I said, we're only going to get there that much faster.
All right, well, I can hear it in your voice. You're going to rock it, and you're going to be in the broadcast booth in not too distant a future. Have you thought about what kind of style you want to bring to the Seattle Kraken?
You know, my style has always been one of high energy. It's always been one of a little bit of humor. A lot of people like to think that I'm pretty funny. I like to think I'm funnier than a lot of people, but usually that's not the case, as my fiance rolls her eyes right now behind me. But no, a lot of energy. The people of Seattle are going to get a ton of energy, a ton of passion out of me, and I'm going to be someone, and I would love to be someone that they can consider their own, and someone that they will embrace as their broadcaster, whatever capacity I'm going to be serving in. It's something that I cannot wait to ingrain myself in the community of Seattle and get to know everyone out there.
That's great. All right, well, before we go, I got to ask you, tonight it's Game 5 between the Leafs and the Blue Jackets. It has been a roller coaster series. What are you going to be watching for tonight?
You know, I think for me, with Columbus being ahead 3-0 the other night and losing that lead, I really, as a hockey fan, I hope they can put that behind them. But, you know, I know over the past few years, Toronto has had a ton of pressure put on them. And, you know, as an Oilers fan my whole life, you know, I'm used to trying to will and to root my team to a Stanley Cup. So I hope for Toronto fans' sake that they get the win tonight and they can start on a high note. But, you know, I think for Columbus, they're going to have to overcome that letdown they had the other day.
Pressure on the Leafs? I haven't heard that before.
No, right? Never.
I'm just trying to be funnier than you. Did it work?
It worked. I think it worked. I think your audience is a heck of a lot larger than mine, so I think they're going to think you're a lot funnier than I am.
All right, Everett. Well, congratulations again. I can't wait to hear you there in Seattle. It's exciting news for you and for the league generally.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
And that is Everett Fitzhugh. He is the team broadcaster for the Seattle Kraken, and he is joining us from Cincinnati, Ohio.